Hello, this is Carrie Weigel-Delaplane reporting for Lynn Eisenhower and myself around Fleur versus Wallace State, a case around employment discrimination. The basic facts of the case are that Gwendolyn Fleur, a Black woman, was hired on a 9-month probationary faculty contract at Wallace State Community College in Alabama for the 1992-1993 academic year as a professor of business and secretarial science. Dr. LaFleur was hired by the academic dean, Dr. Guthrie. Her immediate supervisor was the department chair, Ms. Hathcote, and the president of the college was Dr. Bailey. Dr. Bailey, Dr. Guthrie, and Ms. Hathcote were all white. Dr. LaFleur's contract was not renewed for the 1993-94 academic year, and Dr. LaFleur sued the college and President Bailey, claiming that her contract was not renewed because of racial discrimination. Following the offer and acceptance of a 9-month teaching contract, there was an ongoing dispute about the salary for the position. However, there was no evidence that Dr. LaFleur's teaching was found to be unsatisfactory by the college. The plaintiff's testimony described a number of instances of comments made by Ms. Hathcote that had racial connotations. The court found these to be evidence of racial discrimination and found race to be the primary factor in non-renewal of Dr. LaFleur's teaching contract. Legal issues raised in the case were whether the non-renewal of Dr. LaFleur's faculty contract was primarily due to race and racial discrimination, and not to other issues such as job-related performance. The legal issues raised in the case were whether the plaintiff established intentional discrimination by 1, belonging to a protected class, 2, being qualified for the position held, 3, being discharged despite her qualifications, and 4, being replaced by someone outside of the protected class. The decision and the rationale were that the court held that the defendants unlawfully discriminated against the plaintiff and that the college was liable under Title VII and President Bailey was liable in his official capacity under Section 1983. The court awarded back pay and legal fees to the plaintiff, but did not reinstate her to her former position, which was something that she had actually requested. The federal district court determined that credible evidence had been presented that Dr. LaFleur's supervisor, Ms. Hathcote, held and expressed racial prejudices. Therefore, race was the most likely reason for non-renewal of the contract. One thing I wanted to mention was that Wallace College had been under severe scrutiny by the federal government in terms of not hiring people of color to the college. There had actually never been a person of color hired in this particular department, and in the year that we're discussing in this case, the academic year, out of the 92 faculty, there were only 4 people of color employed at the college. The procedural history was that the case was heard in federal district court in Alabama. The plaintiff sued the defendants under the Federal Civil Rights Act of 1964 and 42 USCS, or Section 1983, which was enacted on April 20th, 1871 as part of the Civil Rights Act of 1871. The remaining question that we had was that we were curious why the plaintiff did not sue her direct supervisor, Ms. Hathcote, in addition to the college and the president. The interactions with her direct supervisor, Ms. Hathcote, were what held the most weight with the court in our opinion and were the most egregious. Again, in our opinion. The implications for policy and practice, we identified a few. Here they are. This case galvanized the need to have written policies for hiring and evaluation. In addition, we found that it's imperative that a college offer salary placement before extending the offer and signing the contract. A college demands zero tolerance for racist speech or actions. That creating an environment in which someone experiencing racial discrimination feels comfortable and supported coming forward to complain and have the issue addressed. And finally, one comment in the opinion particularly stands out as clear direction for community college leaders. It's that the court stresses that the lack of objective evaluation methods creates a fertile environment for racially discriminatory practices and can raise an inference of discrimination. Thank you for watching and have a great day.